Jacob Hornberger, let's give him a hand.
Thank you. I'm running for president for one simple reason. I want to be free. And that is the problem that I have with the reform-oriented message that has come to define this party and these presidential campaigns for the last 20 years. Reform is not freedom. Freedom necessarily entails the dismantling of infringements on freedom, not their reform. At the South Carolina debate, all of my opponents favored the continuation of Social Security, which is the crown jewel of American socialism, for the next 25 years. They say that if we were to dismantle this program immediately, along with Medicare, which I favor, that there'd be people dying in the streets. Pure nonsense. America lived without socialism for 100 years, and there weren't people dying in the streets. In fact, there was the greatest outburst of voluntary charity that mankind has ever seen. But look what this insidious philosophy of socialism does to people, including libertarians. It causes libertarians and others to convince themselves that they are demonstrating compassion through the continuation of a socialist program that is based on the initiation of force through the coercive apparatus of the IRS. That is not freedom. That is not compassion. Compassion is what comes from the willing heart of the individual. Children and grandchildren helping parents and grandparents. The churches of America are filled with faith-filled people, and it is incumbent on this party and this presidential campaign to restore that faith and freedom and voluntary charity. School vouchers. My opponents favor this socialist reform measure that was imported from the Republican Party that, like Social Security and Medicare, takes money from one group of people through taxation and gives it to another group of people. Or even worse, some people in this race want to use their presidential campaign to have libertarians take over the government school boards of America. They call it localism. My position, separate school and state, just as our ancestors separated church and state. And then we have the immigration control system along the border, which is based on the core socialist principle of central planning, which Ludwig von Mises pointed out, brings planned chaos, which is what we've had on the border for 80 years, along with death, suffering, chaos, rapes, kidnappings, detention centers, refugee camps, Berlin Wall, concertina wire now to cut people up, a massive police state. And all of my opponents favor this system in one fashion or another, some much more fiercely than others, almost mimicking Trump and DeSantis in this area. As I have maintained for over 30 years, and in my book, The Case for Free Trade and Open Immigration, and as this party has correctly held for more than 50 years, there is but one solution to this immigration morass, none other, and that's open borders. The free movement of goods, services, and people across borders. I have another objection to this reform message. It cannot garner votes. We all know that in this party. Our presidential candidate 3 years ago, 1%. And now 3 years later, voter sentiment has not changed because 2 Wall Street Journal polls back-to-back say we get 1% again. And, even worse, California State University just came out with a poll about a week ago that says we are now down to 0%. And I'm with the 99%. I reject this message as completely as they do, because it's a bad message for a party that prides itself on liberty, and it doesn't bring me my freedom. To achieve my freedom, I need a breakout of 10 to 15%. And it is my contention that a campaign of pure principle can accomplish that. Open borders completely, abolish Social Security immediately, dismantle the national security state, legalize all drugs, not just marijuana, separate money in the state, education in the state, healthcare in the state, economy in the state. That is the message that we need to be taking to the American people. And that's what will achieve this breakout of 10 to 15%. I say, let's do something different this time. Let's give the American people something they're not expecting. A campaign of pure principle for the party of principle. Let's lead America to the highest reaches of freedom, peace, prosperity, and harmony that mankind has ever seen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.